Most people fail at sticking to new habits because they're relying on willpower alone. The thing is, willpower is a finite resource. It runs out eventually. To make change stick, you don't need more discipline. What you need is habit architecture. Now, I call it habit architecture. Some people call it habit stacking. But what it is you take what you're already doing and you just put the new habit on top of that. Now, let's get into the science of why this actually works. What this is synaptic pruning. Okay, synaptic pruning is when your brain basically deletes connections that you no longer use, just like in gardening. In gardening, you're going to prune, you're going to cut off the dead weight, right? Because if you don't, then you're just using too much energy going to areas that's not working for you. So we want to prune it, cut it off, so that that energy can go into areas that you do want to focus on, that you do want to grow. It's not just condensing the area that the energy focuses on. You're paving a way, like a highway, in a dense forest, okay? So you need to cut off everything that's going to stand in your way. Otherwise, it's going to make it more difficult and longer to get to your destination. So the thing is, with the new stuff that you're not doing right now, you're not paving that way. So how do we pave the way for the new things? Is we take what's already there, the pathway that you've already been building, and we create a shortcut for the new one. We're just branching off of what you already have. This is neural anchoring. We're anchoring into what is already there. Again, we're not building something new. We're just hijacking biological momentum. You already have momentum doing one thing that comes easy to you. So while you're doing that, we're going to branch off to create a new pathway. Right off of that, we're piggybacking off of what you already do. For example, I have to be out here doing these chores anyway. I took my trash out. I'm about to fill up my water jug. I'm also going to be planting some seeds in some soil. So this is my time to ground at the same time when I can, in those areas that I can. So I'll just put my feet on the ground. I'm out in the sunlight, getting this fresh air. And so instead of thinking of it in a negative light, like something that I have to do and all this, I get to do this at the same time. I get to ground at the same time that I'm doing these things that I would be doing anyway. And this is just showing me that it can be enjoyable because now my body feels the grounding effects while I'm doing these things that may not feel so enjoyable. So I'm resetting my nervous system as I reset for the week as well. One action, one location, two results. This is just efficient architecture. We're building our routine, we're building a lifestyle and habits that assist us and don't take away from us in the areas that we can do that. I talked about doing a life audit in a recent video, and I suggest to do that at least once a year to twice a year to really look at your life, your lifestyle, and see what's pouring back into you, what's giving you more energy and what's taking away, and what are the things that you can remove that's not going to hurt you. During this, it's a good time to look at your routine, your habitual behaviors that you have, and see where you can implement the new habit in that you want. So if you have to, let's say, take your kids to the bus, maybe that's a good time to go ahead and get a walk in. Maybe that's a good time to actually start to enjoy getting up and doing that, finding enjoyment in it. I know it sounds crazy. It's hard, especially if you already have your mind wrapped around that it is something you don't like to do. It's a negative thing. It's going to be hard. You have to change your beliefs at that point, your mindset. But once you can figure out how to do that, which I share on my channel, how to do that, how we reprogram our minds so that we can have new habits, behaviors, and identities. And we're also not removing anything right now. I didn't say to take anything away or to stop doing anything. All we're doing is we're going to add, we're going to stack on top of what we're already doing. Again, that pathway that we already have, that growth that's already there, these habits that we already have, we're going to then just cut off a little bit and make a new pathway. Once we have the new pathway, then we can prune the old one. But first, we need to just stack on top of what we already have. And then eventually you're going to gain momentum in that area. And like I said, then we can prune those other things that are taking energy away, so then we can have more energy and focus in the direction, in the area, in the habit or behavior that we want, and that we're building. The thing is, your body may be busy, your hands may be busy, but your mind is not, because these things come automatic. It's a habit you already have. Again, the pathway that's already there. We don't have to think about ducking, moving, watching where we go because we're so used to it. And that's why we want to build off of what's already there. We're already used to it. It's already automatic. Okay. So my body may be moving. My mind is clear. So that opens up the time for me to watch YouTube videos. Okay. Podcasts, anything like that, that can be mentally stimulating in a sense. And even if it's not mentally stimulating, it's a time where I can receive information. So sometimes I do watch podcasts. I do stack. That's why we're talking about this video, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes clearing your mind, and that's why we want to move our body, because it allows us that space and that time to clear our mind. We get more into a flow state because these things are automatic. You're focused on your body and not your mind when you're doing physical activity. Okay, but in this video, we're talking about stacking our habits and our routines that's already there. And so in order to gain more information, because that's a goal of mine, let's say a new habit, instead of scrolling on TikTok while I'm doing physical things, I can just be watching a YouTube videos or listening to a podcast or an audiobook. Just like James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says, is that success is the product of daily habits. You don't need a once-in-a-lifetime transformation. What you're doing is using your existing architecture, your existing routine and lifestyle, and you're just assessing it and then adding in the new. Take what you already have right now. What is one area of your life, one pathway that you do every day, and you can anchor in the new. So let's just say that we all get up and we brush our teeth and wash our face. Hopefully you do. Okay. So during that time, I find that that's a good time for me to anchor in something new. Of course, we're going to keep it simple. It has to be so simple that it's stupid not to do it. Okay. So then I would just anchor in, let's say, words of affirmation. We can say our identity-based statement, and we can use a dry erase marker and write it on our mirror. You can have it on a Post-it note, put it on the wall, on the mirror, wherever it is. Sometimes in the closet, on the door of the closet, on the wall, somewhere where you frequent, you can have these things. And that's when you stop and you repeat those things out loud and in your mind. This is how we're going to start to retrain our brain. Okay. Other pathways that we can start to take over that we already have, that's habitual. It's an automatic behavior that we have. Going to the bathroom. Okay. Going to the grocery store. Automatic thing is picking up your phone. All right. So when we do those things, we're going to add in a new habit. Let me know in the comments below what is one habit you want to anchor in. And I am on a 90-day habit challenge right now for myself. I am in the second month, the second 30 days. We're starting now. And if you want to join me on that, you can go to my website. It's in the description box below. Also, my new book is in there, The Way of the Seeker, if you want to check that out as well. Right now, I'm just planting some grape seeds. I found some seeded grapes last month and kept the seeds, and I still have some left over, but I took some to see if I could do this and got them wet, let them sit for a while. Now they're starting to sprout a bit, and I don't want it to mold, or I don't want to mess this up. I don't really know exactly what I'm doing fully here. I just know, in elementary school, you learn how to put seeds in a plastic bag and in a paper towel that's wet, and they start to sprout. So I'm just going to test this out with these seeds right now. But again, during my existing habit that I already had, I was already doing chores, things like that. I knew I needed to get this done. This is not a new habit that I'm having. This is just something that I stacked on my to-do list of things to do while I was taking the trash out, while I was getting water, while I was cleaning and getting myself together, preparing for the week. I just incorporated one of the things from my to-do list. Is something very simple. I just got some soil in a pot. I already knew what the things were. I just added it into my routine of when I was doing everything else. Go ahead and scoop those items up that I need. And then once I finished all of that, I took those items, and now here we are. And I'm going to cross this off of my list, and hopefully we can get some grapes to start to grow. Now, if you already are habit stacking, creating your own habit architecture, let me know in the comments as well. What is it that you have found works for you? Because we want to help each other out here. So if you found something that works for you, let me know. I'm sure there's something I'm not thinking about. But right now, I've been doing well on my habit challenge. Now that I've reset, I had about 2 weeks where I was off. I wasn't really tracking as much as I normally do. I wasn't keeping up with my planner as I normally do. I'll talk more about this on Wednesday's live, but it's okay. I'm back at it. It's just not stopping, not quitting. You're never a failure unless you just stop trying completely. And so, it's just learning from those things. And it actually helped me to learn what makes me stop. Okay, what are these subconscious beliefs that started to arise? And then we talk about self-sabotage at that point, because maybe it was something there that was keeping me more stagnant. And then I just felt like I needed to stay there longer. And then I started to ruminate on different thoughts. These loops of this doubt started to come up. And then it doesn't make you feel good about yourself. And now I'm more in a freeze mode at this point, and in a survival mode instead of an abundance mindset, a mindset of gratitude and generosity. Usually when I get stuck in that, I try to think about things I'm grateful for. One, just this experience in life in itself is amazing. It's crazy, like magical. Like, how are we doing this? We're recording this, you're watching this, just all the aspects of life. And then also, of course, there's like some aspects that are like not great, but it's life. Okay. And then giving, generosity. If a lot of times we're so focused on ourselves and we're so zoomed in on our lives that we're not seeing the bigger picture. And it's good to zoom out. And how we do that is to be generous, to give, to serve. And when you do that, you can actually gain momentum. You start to find things to be grateful for. You feel better. Okay. But we're not doing it from a place of just doing it just to take or like to get something from it. We're doing it from a place of actual gratitude that we have the ability to give, that we can show up for others. And that's going to look different for a lot of people. It can look like just being a listening ear, just being there with that person, showing up, checking in. Okay. You never know what someone's going through, and you showing up at that time can be right on time. All right. For that person, divine alignment, divine timing, in my opinion. All right. So I got my great seeds in here. We are building on what we already have, those pathways, neurological pathways that are already there, and we are creating new ones. Okay. They say that neurons that fire together wire together, but you have to get them to start firing together. And how we do that is to take what we're already doing, what's already firing together, and that synchronization, that rhythm, and then we're going to add in something new and just start to build that synchronization. And then eventually, since we're building that, we're focusing more in that area now because it's becoming more easy for us. We're being consistent with it. And then we can start to prune and cut off some of those old ones because we no longer need that. And we need more energy and focus for this other area. So then we have to decide what matters most to us. And that's why I talk about values and our identity and our beliefs, because at that point, it's what we prioritize. Okay, but we're going to keep this video simple. We're just talking about habit architecture, stacking these habits that we already have to incorporate the new. And hopefully you found something good in this video. If you did, go ahead and share it with someone else who could use this, who's trying to build a new habit and is, just one failure after another. We're just falling on our face. We're getting stuck. We keep resorting back to old habits. Try this out. Let me know how it works for you. Go ahead and give this video a like. I really do appreciate it. It helps me out. It helps other people see this as well. And then we can make a change at that point. All right. So continue to shine on. Don't forget to breathe. Settle into the moment. And go out there, stack your habits. Let's keep moving. And hopefully I will see you on my Wednesday live. Check it out. Hit the notification buttons because it changes. Sometimes I'll be on at 4 p.m. Sometimes I'll be on a little bit later, but it's going to be about 4 p.m. Eastern time for my Wednesday lives right now until I get into a new routine, which I'm establishing that right now. I just have a few things that I have to do, and I can't set a honest time just at this moment. So hopefully you just stick around with me while I work some things out, and I have some great stuff that's coming up here soon, so you don't want to miss out on that. So hit the notification button for every Sunday video that I post like this, and I have some great things that are coming out, and you don't want to miss that. So again, thank you so much. Subscribe if you're new, like this video for me, leave a comment, let me know what habits you're stacking or what have you already done that's helped you out, and continue to shine on.